There we go.
Okay. Excellent. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us on May 11th. It is now 10:04, and I will call this meeting to order for the CCMC committee. Roll call. We have myself. I see David Klazewski, Martin Heft, Beth Hamill, and Lana Gossley. We are currently missing Corey Gumbrowitz, our clerk, and Lisa Biagirelli, the vice chair. Both did say they are running late and have been in contact this morning, so we'll just note what time they come in. Public comment. I don't see any public for public comment. A secretary's report. Thank you for the joint effort there, Lana and Beth. So April 7th minutes. I believe we all received them.
Beth, have you received access to
Not
post the
yet.
minutes online?
No, Lisa's
Okay.
gonna train me, or someone's gonna train me, or I'll send them
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah,
We'll
that's
figure it
fine. I
out.
mean, if you want me to do it again, I can do it. And so just let
Okay.
me know. Because I don't
Okay.
think they've shut me off yet. So I'm not really
Okay,
sure how
Okay.
that works.
No, I
okay,
don't believe we have, Lana.
all right,
Yeah, okay.
okay.
Just let me know
Yeah,
if you need help.
Okay, thank you. The only change I had in the minutes was on the second page where we talked about the road shows. We hadn't decided who was gonna be at the June road show. So I would just take that whole sentence out for the June 9th, 2026 road show. I would just take that out because we hadn't decided it as of that time. I don't believe we have at this time either, because I'll send something out for the road shows.
That's it. And then right there, right in the third paragraph,
Yeah, for the
for
June
June
9th,
9th, Collinsville,
2026.
Lana, Cora, and Davy will be paid teachers. You want
Yeah.
that removed?
Yeah, I would just remove that line because we hadn't decided anything yet.
Would just say the June and October had not been decided.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Did anyone else have any other changes?
I'll make a motion to accept as amended.
I'll
Perfect.
second.
Excellent. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. Thank you very much, everyone. Okay, we'll go to the treasurer's report. David did send that out. David, do you want to discuss your treasurer's report?
Sure. So this covers the month of April. We had a starting balance of 48,921.34. We received 5,526.81 in income. Expenses were 8,913.94 with a ending balance of 45,534.21.
Excellent. Did anyone have any questions on the treasurer's report?
What was the starting balance again? 48?
48,921.34.
Do I
It's right
have
in
a
the bank statement as well, Beth.
Yep.
Do I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report? Lana, thank you. Do I have a
Second.
second?
So
Martin,
moved.
thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, unanimous. Motion passes. Thank you, everybody. Clerk financial reports. As you can see, Corey is not here. He's texting me. Was link sent? See the agenda.
Oh, there he is.
Good morning, Corey. Welcome back from vacation.
Good morning. Sorry about that.
What have you been? About 4 hours worth of sleep since you landed?
Maybe 6.
Aye.
Trying to get my life on track here.
There we go. So this meeting is being recorded, just so you know.
Sure.
And it's there. What does that mean in your text?
I just found the link for the meeting.
Oh, okay. Very good. We actually just did the secretary's report. We did the
Okay.
bank reconciliation treasurer's report, clerk financial reports. I don't believe we have any as of now, correct?
Correct.
So we'll just table that.
Thank you.
Corey has had several hours and days of training. The clerk role is substantial, so it is going to take some time. So we figured we'll have more prepared for you for June. But the idea is that we do want to talk about the clerk roles and responsibilities because it is extensive later in this meeting if we want to break it up a little more.
Yep.
All right, moving forward, old business.
Something happened to Dave.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you for noticing, Lana.
All of a sudden, I'm like, the
I
screen's
like looked
moving.
down.
He popped out.
All right, note, Dave left the meeting at 10:09.
And
And
here's
here's
Lisa.
Lisa.
Oh, boy.
Good morning, Lisa. So David just popped
Good
out at
morning.
10:09. Lisa B joined us at 10:09. How are you, Lisa? Just a reminder, these are now being recorded, these sessions, and here's David. Okay, thank you. And David is back.
Okay.
Our rec director is back with the right
I
name.
fixed the name. Since we're recording this, I better have it correct.
Perfect, thank you. All right, so we are currently at 6A, Old Business Policy for CCMC Recertification Credit Hours. I sent the draft over to everybody. Lisa B did do some initial edits. I received some replies back, but no one had any changes. How did we want to have a discussion on this? Do we want to talk about this some more? What is everyone's feeling with this policy for the continuing education credit rules?
I think it's great. And we
Thank you.
definitely need it.
Yeah, I thought you did a good job of, clear, concise, hit the areas that we had previously discussed. So I think they're covered in there. I know I had mentioned about, excuse me, previously, some stuff on the CCMA side with having some issues with some of the online stuff. Ours is a little different because we don't have a company or per se that does online training for tax collectors, everything. So we don't have that same thing. That would be the only thing, though, that if we wanted to include something on that, for if there should ever be online training outside of CCMC doing it or CTX doing it, of a company that's doing it, on there, we would want to make sure we'd have some sort of provisions in there. I know CCMA, we've got them. So now it's, they have to verify the actual hours spent, everything similar to what we're doing, versus them just issuing a certificate for 7 hours. They have to verify and put the times on their certificate now, on some of those. So something we can add later if we wind up having, some other online services that are actually going to start doing training. I don't think it's major now, but that was the only other piece that we don't really cover, in this as much.
Because we do have, what is it, the banking people, the supervisor, the cashier, and that is a third party. Do you have the language from the CCMA? Because maybe I can incorporate that.
It was more, I can look it up.
Okay.
It was simple. Maybe we
Continue.
add that onto the online virtual courses, under what is it, 3B? It was just a
Yeah.
one-liner. Let me find it for you while you rest of you
Okay.
discuss.
Yeah, 3B, it says continue will be awarded provided the participant has their camera on, except if present during the course, responds to instructor engagement, meets all participation. And we do say it's issued by the provider. The certificates of completion shall be issued by the provider or sponsoring entity of the approved. That's 6A.
Right. But I think what I want to see included is also that they specify the hours.
Would that be
as,
included in
the
the
actual
last?
start time, end time, and, that they're participating in there. Let me find that language for you. Take me a second.
Do we need to include that, the start time and the end time? We really haven't had an issue with it.
It doesn't matter if you've had an issue, it stops it from
Covers.
being an issue.
Okay.
We actually had the online, what had happened was the online company, gentleman had put in for recertification for reval side, and it was for 7 hours. And I'm just like, okay, we need to confirm something here. And he's like, yeah, because he had put in for 21 hours on the same day. And it's like, okay, how did you do 21 hours on the same day? And he was like, well, as you know, it's like I completed them ahead of the 7 hours. I only did it like in 5 hours. So it's like, well, then you can't get 7 hours credit. But that's what the company issued the certificate for. So now we're making them put the start time, end time, and they can only get credit for the hours
Okay.
you're actually doing. So that was the clarification that was truly needed.
Okay, credit is awarded on full course basis only. I'm thinking under 5 where it says credit is awarded on full course basis only and actual hours attended.
Correct. Right.
Will that work?
Yeah,
So credit, so that's would be in 5. Credit is awarded on full course basis only and actual hours attended.
yeah, that's fine. It's very similar language. I'm good with that.
Can
Okay.
you say that again, Lisa?
Of course, under 5, credit
Mhm.
is awarded on a full course basis only. And the part we're going to add is and actual hours attended.
Okay, thank you.
I'll send this back out to everyone, or do we want to approve it with the amended changes and post it? How does everyone feel? David, go ahead.
I just had a question. So recently we had a member of CTX kind of challenge their denied credit for their online participation. They
Mhm.
tried to argue that there was technical issues on our end, not their end. So uh, I mean that was handled, that's over and done with, but I guess my question is, should we be addressing on here not only the issues that we've already addressed, such as like you shouldn't be driving or doing things in the background, but should we have something on here that addresses technical issues, whether that happens on their end, our end?
I
Just
could
because
say
it was a
something,
kind of a new thing that came up. Sometimes people just say they're honest and they just say, hey, my screen wasn't working. But this time they're trying to say it was us.
well, if everyone else works and they were the only one, that's a dead giveaway. But we can also say something about we are not responsible for technical issues on the user
That's
side.
That's
Or
what I was
just actually,
saying.
we
Like,
didn't,
should
yeah.
should we have something on there at least? You know,
Mhm.
I don't know how to word it off the top of my head, but that addresses technical issues, because that
We are not
does
responsible
come
for
up.
for individual technical issues.
Yeah, something to that effect, because that seems to always be an issue.
Yeah, I mean, I think if that's a good thing, David, because if there's an issue overall, on the presenter side, technical, then it's going to affect everybody. But if it's, it's that individual piece, you want to make sure that we're covered on. So if they have an issue, it's their responsibility.
Yeah.
Where do you want to add that?
I was going to put that under 4.
Yeah, because if it was an issue on our end, we obviously would have heard from others. The only issues we heard and were like, oh, the stage was too dark. It was hard to see because the speakers are on a dark stage. But if it was a technical issue on our end, we would have heard about it from everyone. But but the more likely scenario that I think needs to be addressed is the fact that people will say, well, you can't blame me. You can't, take away my credit. I had a technical issue. My screen wasn't working. And,
This will give us the backing.
how do we,
Okay.
Lisa, do you think that might be better under 3B, the online virtual courses?
Online versus, well, yeah, that's true because it's only online.
Because it's only
Yeah.
refers to online with the technical, that it's, specifically right there on the online.
True.
So we got that, Beth. We're gonna move it to 3B.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, well, makes more sense. So did we want me to send this out and table it till our June 2nd meeting or approve it with the amendments? I'm fine with either one. How does everyone feel?
I say approve it just with the amendments. I think it's great.
I'm
Sooner
fine
than
with it
later.
under section 3B.
Okay. And I'll also bold. I realized some of the bolds didn't continue through, so I'll do that. All right.
Was that
Do
a
I have a
motion, Lana?
motion?
Yes, I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Does this policy go into effect immediately?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
It technically has been in effect. It now is just clarification and gives us
Because we're-
actual rules and guidelines.
We're going to need it in 3 days.
Mm-hmm. So that's perfect. All right, all in favor?
You'll just update the date on the top, and I would just put it effective
Effective
May
immediately.
11th. Yeah, or put it effective May 11th, 26.
And I'll ask Deb to post it somewhere on our CCMC website, and then I'll send it to CTX to send out to the tree. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Beth, maybe?
No, I'm voting.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Just getting ready.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Motion passes. Thank you, guys. I'll get that updated and send that out. Let's see, roadshow. How was the roadshow, guys, on May 5th? It looks like we had some attendance things, but we'll take care of that.
Oh, hey, Lisa, I'm the only one that has my town after my name because I don't have a position.
Mhm.
on this, so you don't want that, right?
That's what we're doing. Let's put that under new business
Oh,
or
sorry.
somewhere
Okay.
else, just because
Yes,
it
I was
doesn't
just
fall
looking
in
at it,
line.
and so I was like, that's strange, but yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, because it's like we wanted to get away from towns with the emails, so
Right,
we
right.
can have a discussion with that.
Okay.
So the road show in Reading, how did
It
that
was
go,
great.
guys?
It went well.
Good number
Um,
of attendees, which was nice.
We had 30, hold on, where's my list? We ended up with 31 attendees. I sent all the paperwork to Corey and I copied Lisa on it. Yeah, there were a couple of people that I wasn't expecting, but that was okay. We were able to accommodate them. I thought it went very well, and Pat Moisio does a really over the top job of hosting. She enjoys it very much. So we had Cinco de Mayo, and it was really fun. We took a picture. We had good weather. We went outside, but just so that you guys know, I work on the packet, and I told the people who were there, and just so that for the record, there were some things I took out of the packet, including a very lengthy unit on bankruptcy. And I replaced it with some stuff about ethics and segregation of duties because in light of what we've seen recently in our profession, I thought that that would be appropriate. And that was really how the roadshow sort of kicked off. Very good participation from people, very good mix of people. There was staff, there were collectors, there were small towns, there were larger towns, there were districts. It was really like everything that we always hope a road show would be. And I'll turn it over to Lorna and to Dave because they were there as well.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it went great. Participation was good, and so I mean, and the food was amazing. I mean, Pat went way over the top, but
Yeah, and there
Yeah.
was a big discussion that when we talked about ethics, that kind of spilled into a discussion on cash management and how towns manage their cash, whether it be armored car service, bank, police escort, things of that nature. So that was very helpful for me because that is a subject that Amanda, as treasurer, and I have been thinking about doing a presentation on in the future. So I think it is a topic that was, clearly people are interested. They widely discussed it. So that was very interesting. And then I did bring up to the group at the time pending legislation. The group collectively was very much against the amendment that was attached to the bill against, we obviously had no knowledge of it, so much so that they said they wanted to write emails and letters to Hartford opposing the entire bill. And I said, well, no, we can't do that because that would look very bad if we oppose that. But I tried to explain to them that this is unfortunately, there's unintended consequences. This is what can happen with legislation. But so I found that interesting that they were very much against that amendment.
Yeah, legislation we mentioned a little further down in new business, but so it sounds like you had an overall good road show, so that's good. There is a lot of
They're
issues.
very active group.
That's
Sure.
good. Excellent. So we should expect more of the same June 9th in Collinsville, the next thing on the agenda. So who do we have teaching for the road show in Collinsville? Where is Collinsville?
Canton.
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 Yeah,
Okay.
it's really a part of Canton.
Yeah, I will be there. I'm not sure who else is going to be there.
And I was going to be there if you still want me to, but
I mean, I'm available, but I know we have that like 3-person rule now. So I was
Right.
at the last
Yeah.
one, so I don't want to,
Yeah,
I'll be like a backup if you guys need me.
when did the 3-person thing come into effect? I just don't remember what was the
the beginning
precipitous
of
for
this
that.
year.
Beginning of this year, budget meeting.
And that was because just budget wise.
Yes.
Yes,
I'm
it just-
happy to attend as I've done in the past. Obviously, can't be paid anything else, so I'm kind of out of that loop there anyways, and I can't instruct per se, but I could be there statutory as I did the last one. Everything else, I'm more than happy to on June 9th to be at that one. I
Okay.
can be.
Lisa B, can you go to that one?
I can go if you want me to. It's up to you guys. You tell me.
Yeah, I'm the same. If you need a third instructor, I'll,
Well, Corey.
I'm available.
Corey also, I think, did you mention you were gonna go to that one, or had you thought about it?
I had signed up for it, so I'm definitely going. So whichever side I fall under, student or assistant learning
Okay.
helper.
All right, so
Yes.
who am I gonna pick as the 3 paid instructors, or who are we gonna assign that? So the last one we had Lana, David, and Lisa, right?
Lisa B, yeah.
Yeah,
Lisa B.
Lisa, Matt, and I didn't ask you if you were gonna attend.
I can't attend anyway. My son is graduating college, so I am
Oh,
going
nice.
to be, yes.
Okay, all right, so,
I can go. I mean, you don't have
Okay.
to pay me. That's fine. It doesn't matter. I have it on my calendar, so.
Me as well, Beth. And so I don't have to get paid either.
okay, well, so I'm the only one that's gonna get paid?
Well, if you have,
Corey
if you
is
have
going.
three
Corey, you gonna
attendees,
go?
Well, Corey,
Okay,
I'm in attendance, so whether I'm
Okay.
student or assistant, I'll be there.
well, you can actually take yourself off now.
yeah. And
You don't
be
have
a-
to register for CCMC
Okay.
roadshows anymore, since you're a CCMC committee member.
Okay, so myself and Corey and,
Well,
Lisa and I
I'll,
will
I'll
split
be,
the
I'll be there
200.
as well.
Yeah,
yeah,
Brian
Martin's
split
gonna
the
be
200.
there, Lisa B, Lana, okay, well, we'll roll the dice and figure it out, I guess.
Work it out later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna worry about it, but at least
yeah,
we
like
know
I
who's
said,
gonna be there.
if anything comes up and you guys need me, I'm pretty sure I'm available, so.
Okay, all right, and I'm gonna, when we originally had started doing the road shows, or when I had done it, I had sent out thank you notes to people, so I will implement that again. I kind of fell off the wagon with that, with just everything going on, so, but I'll definitely send one to Pat.
Beth, since now you're secretary, do you want me to take over doing the road shows or do you want to do both?
Uh,
Okay,
I'm
that's
fine,
fine.
I'm fine doing it, it's not
Just
really,
offering.
yeah. I'll let you know in November when I can't find anybody to host them.
Thanks.
That
Yeah, you're
could be Lana's title on the header.
Pat said she would host again next year. She really
I know.
likes it.
She
Yeah,
does
she
such a
likes it.
great job, so, yeah, she could be like our permanent host.
I know, right?
There you go. All right. So thank you, everybody. So it sounds like we'll have a full boat in attendance, at least in Collinsville, Canton. So
Mhm.
we can go from there. So that's great.
And just one more, the list hasn't changed so far, right, for,
Corey was out last week, so
okay, so,
let's wait on the list.
okay,
So
thank you.
yeah, we do have time since it's not till
Yep.
June 9th. So
Exactly,
and
yep.
we can still do another email blast as a reminder of people that they can sign up for it as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I would say probably what day is that, on a Tuesday, Wednesday? Probably the Thursday, Friday before we can cut it off.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a
I think
Tuesday.
it's on a Tuesday.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
believe it is Tuesday.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay, so we'll cut it off on Thursday, the Friday before, so this way he can get you an exact list.
thank you.
Thank you, everybody. All right, the laptops, I'm getting nowhere with the state agency. So I've emailed several people several times with HP, and they've given me 3 different contacts. And the person they originally sent me off to, they say is no longer there. So I'm still having trouble getting contacts with that, Martin. I can send you off the emails. Maybe there's someone that you know to help get 6 laptops.
Yeah, yeah, send it to me and then I can look at it and see who, because I can always contact our IT people and see who the right contact, if they have it.
All right, that'll
So
be
if you get that to
fantastic.
me, I'll try to follow up and see if I can find anything. It's
Okay.
completely a whole nother agency, but we can try to assist.
I know. So I went through the DAS, I went through contact who they said there. They said, you're going to hear from this person. Then I followed up, never heard from them. Oh, now it's this person, never heard. So I'll
Okay.
just send it back to you. And also, I just don't know if they know who CCMC is, even though it is part of OPM.
Right.
So I don't know if that's the case. And then actually, while we're on the thing of laptops, do you guys like the big ones or the little ones? Like, I know I like the full 17-inch screens and with the num lock on the side.
Mm-hmm. I do
So,
too.
or do people like the small ones? I like the num lock on the side.
I
so
just
if
like the
no one
ones that
cares.
don't have the really loud fan every 2 seconds.
And don't shut off.
So I'm gonna bring my old one to the AquaTurf on
That's fine.
Thursday.
That's
I
fine.
don't know what
And
you want
then-
to do with it. Smash it.
Just-
I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
I
No,
have
Mark,
to,
we're
I
bringing
have
it
to take,
back.
I have to take them back. I'll
Yes.
take anyone that has the old one, when they're ready, I'll take it back and we'll get them to DAS surplus, as we'll have to get records retention, get them cleaned and all that type of stuff. But yeah,
If
Yeah.
maybe it won't
Okay.
even turn on though, so I don't know about that.
yeah, because I have John's here in the office.
Okay.
So should we all bring them Thursday or?
If you're not using them, certainly,
Okay.
but if you're still utilizing them, because
Yeah.
I don't.
No, I use my personal one now because it just doesn't work.
Mhm. All right. Anything else on the laptops, guys? Hold. Okay. Thank you. New business requests for course workshop approvals. I have none, amazingly so. And I even for the CCMC chair at Gmail, I put an automatic responder saying that this is no longer monitored and to email me directly. We changed the form online. I did also check that email. There was nothing there. The only thing was Jamie Mockton asking if her previous one was approved, and it was at the last meeting. So no workshop approvals. That
And
reduces
Are the emails being forwarded to your personal email or your state email?
state. Everything's going to go to the state email. I'm trying not to use Lisa Madden CCMC at all. So every time I get an email on, I'm replying, but I'm focusing on the ct.gov. It's better for FOI. Recertification applications. Corey, do you want to take it from there? We had 4. Or do you not have it with you? Because I can do it if you don't have it.
I think you're muted, Corey. you
There we
go.
go. Trying to get back into the swing of things. Yes, so the recertification apps that I had received, there were 4. I received Carla's, Carla Hamill, Pat Moisio, Jen Delaney, and Jacqueline Banzoff. So that I don't know how detailed we need to be.
Well, would you
they-
like, would you like a motion to approve and then we could discuss?
Okay. Wasn't sure. That
I'll
might
make
be
a motion.
ideal if everyone receive the notice.
I'll second the motion, Lisa.
I missed that. What was the motion?
Lisa B, do you made
To
a
approve.
motion?
Correct.
All of them?
Yes, please.
Okay.
And I'll second all of them.
And then we can discuss.
Yeah, so normally what I do, Corey, is I go each name.
Okay.
I say Jacqueline Banzoff of Milford submitted 55 hours. She has 60 in Cantone. Jennifer
Okay.
Delaney of Glastonbury had 58 hours. We had 57.5 in Cantone. Just
Perfect.
this way it's on record for verbally saying the name and the amount of
Okay.
hours that they submitted, plus the hours that we have on record. Pat Moisio Redding, 101 hours, 146 in Cantone. Never mind, she did have teaching she could have included. Carla Hamill, Watertown, 105 in Cantone, 126 hours, and she also could have included teaching.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, it's going to take some time. There's a lot to it.
Yes.
So any discussion on the 4 applications? Look, seeing none, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. So Corey, you would email these people saying that congratulations, you
Mhm.
have now, your recertification has been approved till the end of 2031. Please accept this email until you receive your actual certificate. And since they're getting approved now in May, they'll get it at the November CTX AquaTurf meeting. We don't hand
Okay.
out the recertifications at the AquaTurf. I just have the recertifications with me and I like walk around and try to find everybody. I email everyone
Okay.
prior to let them know to come see me. So that's good. Perfect. Thank
Okay.
you. The comprehensive final exam applications. Corey, did you get a chance to update that sheet and maybe share your screen? Or no, did you get confirmation?
I have confirmation. I would have to update the report. She was just, I
Okay.
just sent, I'm not physically in the office, so I was relying on my colleague to send me the information. So I don't know if you want me to verbally relay it or send you an updated copy after when this meeting concludes, or
Oh, let's see if I can get it on here.
need to manipulate it and do it in real time?
Well, that's what I was gonna do because we actually have the actual, what we have come through. That's why I also did the email to CTX. So
Mhm.
this way everyone knew who was on it. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So Corey, did you find out from Suzanne Thompson and Old Lyme?
Yeah, Suzanne's payment was received.
Okay,
Um,
I'll let you
Matt,
fill that in.
yep, from online. Matt's payment was also received from his Glastonbury.
Yeah, Sharon Winter of New Canaan.
Sharon
said
Winter, I did not receive. No, it's not in the office.
She physically put it in the PO box on 5/5.
So like she was mailing it out, or
No, she went to the post office, the Milford post office, and handed it to the mail person to put it in the PO box for Milford.
okay, I'll have to. Hmm. Yeah, because they didn't receive it, but I'll check again tomorrow when I'm back physically in the office. I can call as well the mail clerk today.
It could also be because it's a money order. It might just be in a personal envelope that they didn't
Mhm.
find it if you were looking for town envelopes. And what about Prospect, Jennifer Massaman?
Yes, Jennifer's was received. And
So
they also say they received payment from Leona Harris of Westfield,
I don't have an application for her
but I
though.
don't have any other backup for that other than a check. So I just have to confirm whether that was an exam payment or for another item.
Well, the $45 would have been the dead giveaway.
Yeah.
Let me check. Leon Harris?
Leanna, Leanna Harris.
Leanna Harris, Westfield. Yeah, she's taken all 4 courses. I almost feel like we need to table this because we can't vote on people if we don't have their application and their payment. That's the problem. I don't know how people feel about pending confirmation of Corey being in the office for Sharon Winter.
What about Giovanna Rose? Did she pay enough, or is it because it's a retake she only had to pay 35?
That was mailed 12/29. It's down at the bottom. So
Before
she
we
paid
changed the
prior,
dates.
before she changed it.
Okay,
Well,
sorry,
it's
I didn't see the
because they
bottom of your
missed-
screen.
Yeah, they missed the December payment.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's missed a couple of payments due to time frame. Because legislative wise, we have to confirm it. Do we want to say pending?
I
And
think
same with
so.
the other person? Martin, what do you think? The regulations say we must have both, but it doesn't address the person that's receiving it being on vacation. Can we say
I-
pending payment? Would we be okay with that?
Oh, we could, but if we don't have an application to review,
It'd be with the check,
yeah.
because that's how they always send them.
And you said Corey got the check? For
What's the
Leanna?
other name?
He's not
Corey?
sure, no.
It was Leanna Harris. He was just. I'm sending a note right now.
Maybe you can find out while during the course of this meeting, and maybe we'll table this part to address it the later part of the meeting.
That would be ideal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you
So
need
can-
a motion to
Yeah.
table, Lisa?
Yeah, can we have a motion to
So moved.
Second,
change this to number 10 and push comments down? We'll make this the last thing. Does that sound good to everybody?
Yes.
yep.
Okay, do we have a second, right? All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Okay. So Corey, I am going to get out of the sheet so you can update it and resend it. Thank you, everybody. This will help address what we've got coming on shortly. Course evaluations. I actually just received course 4 today, so I do have all of the course evaluations. protocol prior to was that all CCMC got all courses. And then what I wanted to do for our June meeting with the instructors is we give them individually to the instructors. Before I do that, did anyone want to change up that process, discuss it, or are you good with status quo?
I'm good.
Good with status quo? All right, as I said, I literally just got course 4 this morning, so I will send out all the courses today, and we can review at our June 2nd meeting. Thank you, everybody. Clerk rolls.
I'm looking at a seal or a dog or something. Is that still somebody's screen?
Oh, thank you.
I believe it's a fox.
Oh, okay, Fox. Sorry.
It's an Arctic fox.
One thing to note with the course evaluations, I want to make sure that we're all doing the process that they are confidential. Everyone's doing the course evaluations after the end of the exam, and someone is sealing it up and mailing it. So it's not like the instructors ever get to touch them or handle
Exactly.
them.
Yep.
We do them the
Right.
week before the exam. We don't touch them though.
It might be good to do after the exam because they can't really rate the course till after they take the exam. Like we give them out prior to, like you can start filling it out, but make sure you don't want to make any changes. And we have an envelope there
We
at
had
the end of the
voted,
exam.
I don't know how many years ago to hand them out the week before because people weren't handing them in after the exam. And so that was the problem. Some people leave early, some people are a mess at the end, and so they didn't. And so then we did it the week before, and we've been doing that for at least 3 years now.
Yeah, we have.
So you're doing the same thing, Beth? So there's some inconsistency here because class 3 I know does different. Dave, when do you give them out? I think it's
Yeah,
after
we
your
give
exam.
them out after the exam because we just, the second they hand us their exam, we basically don't let them leave. We say, here's the evaluation. You can't leave until you fill it out. And they're, for the most part, always cooperative. Or they
Yeah.
always have been.
Yeah, we send it out ahead of time and then the envelope is there for them to submit it into.
Yep, that's what we do.
And they put it in that envelope.
We actually put it in
Yeah.
the course material for week 7 at the beginning and say, okay, this is how we're starting week 7 before.
So now we have 2 courses that do it before the exam, 2 courses at the end of the exam, and we should probably try to get some consistency. How about the 2 non-instructors, Martin and Corey? How do you guys feel about doing an evaluation? Would you rather do an evaluation after you had the exam or prior to the exam?
So if you want to start, Corey, you want me to?
Either way, it's been a while for me, but I defer to you.
So I can tell you just from having taken your sister agency, the assessor side, going through the courses and all of that, I prefer to do the evaluation after. Part of it is, and I will tell you that there have been times where they had us do the evaluation, they bring it in before we start the exam, they have us fill the evaluation out, and then we do the exam, so it's done right there, they collect them back. But part of it is once you take the exam, you may have a different feeling. Okay, was that course material covered? Was this stuff? And I actually had a course that a lot of stuff on the exam wasn't even covered in the course. So we could not make any comments about that or anything. So that was an issue. I think the CCMA has changed it now, but part of me would say you included in with their exam packet after they finish their exam, they fill out their survey and they return both at the same time.
Then we see it.
I'm sorry?
But then we will get the evaluation, and that's the point, is that we don't.
Well, but
see
didn't you
them
say
as
there was
teachers.
a separate envelope for the evaluation?
That's what we
Yeah.
have.
So even if it's
That's
in
what
their
we do.
packet, they put it in a separate envelope sealed and they turn it in with their thing. They're 2 separate things turning in. You're not going to see the evaluation.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
you'll know who the envelope's from, but you're not going to see the evaluation because
Now,
it's in a
Lisa-
sealed envelope.
Thank you, Martin. Corey, did you want to add anything?
My idea was, my rationale was, I believe the evals would be best at the end of the exam to ensure that it aligned with the teachings and the coverage. But I do understand, some students may have a difference of opinions if they thought the exam was too hard, but hopefully everyone is being honest and ethical, that, taking responsibility for their studies. But it would, like, my
And
reasoning
Nathan-
would be ideally at the end.
Okay. And Lisa, you've been doing this for a long time and you've been teaching a long time. Was there a rationale prior to, like when you started doing this? Do you remember the conversations?
I think that it used to be before the exam, but I know I changed it in my course at some point because I said to the students, I don't think you can evaluate us fairly without sitting for the exam. So I could go either way, but I'm leaning toward doing it after, but it seems to have worked out okay the way we do it with just one big envelope with postage already on it, addressed to, in our case, we addressed it to Corey because Lisa is the chair of the committee, but she was also an instructor. But for everybody else, it would just be addressed to Lisa, postage paid, and just leave it on the table in the front of the room. And whoever is the last person, we have them count up how many evaluations are in there and seal it. And we're usually within, one
or two.
There may be one person who forgets, and then they can email theirs to the clerk. But it works out okay. But we do give it to them ahead of time too, and say, just to save yourself time at the end of the exam when we know you want to get out of here, if you want to start filling it out or at least start thinking about it ahead of time. And then I just have blank copies in case anybody forgets to bring it, which sometimes they do. But we try to impress upon them that it's important that they evaluate us, because that's the only way we're going to find out if the teacher is a good instructor or not, because we have had some issues in the past. Not that we're having them now, but we have. So
That's fine.
Yeah.
So
We can
class
switch
one
it.
and class two, you guys are okay if we change it to
I'm-
after the exam? They can get it
Yeah.
anytime during the entire
Yeah.
course, the copy of the evaluation. But let's just
Yeah.
say, let's turn it in after the exam, separate envelope sealed, no one sees it and it mails it off.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And then while
Yeah.
I'm teaching, we'll send it to Corey, or we can send it to anybody, but it can't go to me or Lisa B for conflict of
Right, right.
interest.
Yeah, it's not really any different than what we're already doing. It's just a
Right.
timing
Exactly.
issue. So
Yeah, I mean, I
that's
do-
fine.
Yeah, I mean, we
Okay.
have the envelope and everything.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yep.
yeah, so that's
Yeah.
fine. We'll
Definitely.
just move it to
All
the
right,
end of the
excellent.
exam.
Thanks, guys. I mean,
Yeah.
it seems tedious. It's just good to have the consistency amongst all the courses.
It's fine.
Right, so I thought that everyone was doing it the week before the exam. 'Cause-
That's why we
at
mention
one
it.
time,
It's good.
Lana, at one time we did. You're absolutely right. Yeah,
Well, yeah, because I've been teaching since 2008. And so
exactly.
it's
Yes.
been a long time. Yeah. It's just that
Almost 12.
we used to have them send it themselves and they weren't. And so then we put it in the course material and said, okay, we're taking a couple minutes now,
Yep.
and then here's the envelope. Yeah.
That is
So-
correct. They did used to email it themselves. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, well,
Okay.
we'll try it this way and we'll see if it works. I mean, I did get plenty back from all courses, so it was good. It definitely was the full.
We make everybody
Fill 'em
do
out.
it because
it
it's
definitely
in
was to fill
class
'em out.
and we have to make,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, we do too. Yep.
yeah.
Okay, thank you, everyone. I don't think we need a motion for anything like that. That was more of a discussion, and to let you know that I do have them. I've received course 4 today. Clerk roles and responsibilities. What do you think, Corey?
They are vast. So, yeah, I've been trying to put together, my, like a notation, a guideline, templates and so forth, from everything that we've been discussing. They are vast right now. So it's definitely taking me more time than I had anticipated to get everything together, and my vacation was not ideal in the learning process.
You're allowed a vacation. You made this long before you knew you were coming here.
Yes.
So, but in speaking of which, there also, I think, needs to be a little bit more segregation. And what happens is the clerk ends up booking the revenue and taking the payment, even though the payment goes to David and he was depositing it. I'd like to see a little bit more segregation of duties, especially in light of everything that's been happening in our industry, as well as it's how we set it up at CTX. CTX, we had one person book the revenue and another person booking the payment. This way, there's no guidelines like you're adjusting revenue, anything that you could think of. And so what I'd like to do is, and I don't mind if I do it, is taking the revenue and I'll book the revenue and Corey gets all the payments. David records the reconciliation, and this way we have the flow. The other thing is for the expense wise, no one is approving the checks David is cutting. He is just cutting checks. So if I end up entering it into the QuickBooks, in essence, then I am approving authorization for payment. So I'm open to any kind of discussion, however we see fit, but I don't think it's fair for David because then he's on the hook for just writing checks. There's no approval. I don't think any one of us would like that, just to cover David. And then in addition, just the revenues and expenses, and just try to take some load off Corey as well.
So question, QuickBooks, who has the QuickBooks? Is it Dave? Is it Corey? Is it you, Lisa?
Dave, all three of us, the three of us.
Is
It's
it,
online.
It's online.
It's an online one. Okay. So I also know QuickBooks. So if you want me to help with anything, I could, just let me know.
If you want to handle the revenue side, I can give you back access of the website and you can book all the revenue in QuickBooks. But it also is the timing with the revenue. You have to do it right away because then Corey will get payment, and it's that revenue that Beth needs for like the roadshow attendance. All the attendance is based upon that. And also when it comes to course time, how many people register for the courses, you'd have to make sure that you're available that day to count the number of people registering. That's something you'd want to do?
I could give it a try.
Okay.
That's always been the challenge, is to get everything as real time as possible with the deadlines.
And that's
Sure.
even with CTX too,
Mm-hmm.
Lisa?
I have a question. With the road show, we did have a couple people who were there who I did not have on the list. Who's going to follow up with that?
Did they pay?
Well, first I
that's
have
what
to
I-
make sure with Corey, what he has for records. Corey and I will work together to make sure they follow up. Someone will get invoiced if they didn't sign up already.
Okay, I didn't know, I was the one taking attendance. I didn't know if I needed to do that or not. Now,
Oh,
one of
no,
them,
no, no, no.
all right, because one of them replaced somebody else from her town. That's fine, that's a wash.
Right,
But
we knew
okay.
about that one anyway
Right.
too.
Okay, all right.
So that one was fine. And I thought it was actually changed on one of the sheets. You may not have had the last sheet as well. I'm not sure.
I don't think.
Yeah,
I
the
did.
Stratford one, we had them register.
Okay.
So yes, but no, that's fine. No, you don't need to take care of that. If you are an admin, you're responsible for getting the attendance, making sure the people are participating and doing the certificates. It is up to the back of the house to make sure that everyone has paid.
So
We
I
will
have
follow
another
for that.
question. Dave has to handwrite checks. Why isn't he writing them out of QuickBooks? Just because it takes a lot of time. And so I'm just,
For the number of checks, it might take him more time to print them in QuickBooks, I'll be honest with you, as well as getting the supplies. Like right now, it's old Bill Donlin, old-fashioned regular
it.
checkbook.
I know. That's why I'm asking. Yeah.
I mean, I'll defer to the treasurer what he likes to see. As long as we have every check number, that's my thing, is I have sequential check numbers and every check number is accounted for.
Oh, absolutely. It's just, I didn't know if it, I hate to handwrite stuff like that. So I was just curious.
I mean, I'm fine just because it's not a high volume. So,
Oh, okay.
It's maybe like 2 months out of the year when everyone's asking for their reimbursements. So,
Okay. Okay.
If there's 50 checks a year, I'd be surprised.
Okay.
last month there was,
Last month
I don't
was
know,
the most,
8 checks, 7 or 8 checks.
and that was the high one.
Yeah, and
Wow.
that's usually the higher side.
But I guess if somebody put the information in QuickBooks and then Dave signed it, isn't that our dual control? And so.
Well, that would be the checks and balance for the invoices.
Right.
Dave would send it to me and I would enter the expense in as approved. So at
Right.
least that way we've got the internal controls on the expense side. And then
Yeah.
if we're going to do revenues where you input the revenues, so you're going to match it up with the people that register online. Corey will be responsible for the payments. And since he's now depositing in the bank, because Webster Bank's right there, David will have the bank reconciliation, the Excel side, and then we obviously do it in QuickBooks after.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that sound okay to everybody here? So there's 3 different people, a couple of different roles. There's really a lot that goes into the clerk.
Mhm.
And as you can see, you can't even go on vacation without it becoming a mess. So
So Corey's gonna
welcome to the team,
deposit,
Corey.
he's gonna deposit payments from now on.
Yes, instead, it's
Right.
actually safer that way. I was always nervous mailing, like especially with the course registration, I'm mailing out $20,000 worth of revenue for CCMC via regular mail. So Corey will deposit it regular. If you still
All right,
want to do
so
the,
I will bring him the deposit book, like the slips and the stamp on Thursday.
okay, awesome.
And then do you want to coordinate with me, showing me what is going to have to get done and stuff?
Yeah,
on
I have to
another
have
day?
Lou set you up.
Okay,
And then I'll do a virtual training with you individually, and we can even loop Corey in one more time. This way we can all be on the same page.
okay. Sounds
Okay,
good.
awesome. Thank you, Lana. That's awesome. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
PayPal is an issue.
Okay,
Going
question.
back
Hold
to-
on, Beth
Oh,
has a
go
Before
ahead,
we
Beth.
move on.
Sorry.
So just in trying to write this down for the segregation of duties. So Lana is going to be logging or booking the revenue.
Yep,
Okay. Corey is going to be doing the payments deposits,
correct.
and David is going to do the reconciliation. Is
There'll
that
be two reconciliations, but yeah, David will do the paper reconciliation, and then Corey will have to go back. It doesn't have to be Corey, but it has been to do QuickBooks has the bank reconciliation. You know, Lana, it's like 2 seconds.
Yep.
But also make sure that Lisa's going to input all the expenses as approval for the expenses.
you, Lisa?
Yeah, because we don't want David just signing checks without approval.
Sounds good.
Okay. PayPal is in John's personal name, guys.
Lovely.
Yes, can't have that.
No.
And so then trying to change it over, it'll be extensive in time. There's also other companies, a Stripe. Yeah, you've seen Apple Square. Do we want to look at a different credit card provider? Do we want to ask some of our existing? I know we don't like to use those that accept tax payments as a provider, but I do know many have offered to do free of charge. So would we rather pay for the service to not show that we support a vendor?
Lisa, is there anything that our bank offers as a financial institution where people can make the payment directly into our account? You know, I know
David?
like TD Bank uses Zelle, you know, as
Yes.
their partner type thing. Is there something, and then we just, the payment is made through Zelle, boom, into the account. I'm just trying to think of options to streamline as well as just, obviously then there's a record of it when it gets deposited. It's less hands being transferred. It's a direct deposit per se as an option. I don't know, but that's, I know Lisa was going to say something too, I think. So, but that was just another option to consider.
Zelle is fantastic. David, you would need to contact Webster because I'm still not a signature on the account anyway.
Okay.
So if we reach out to Webster Bank, I sent you my contact, but we can get that going. And we can ask them at the same time. Do you mind doing that, David? We got to change the
Sure.
signature cards and see if they have a Zelle or something similar there too. Many
You want me
banks
to
seem to have
reach out
Zelle.
to Laura?
Yeah, Laura Coleman.
Okay.
And if she's not the right one, she'll direct you. She might direct you to Mike Gayu, but at least we have to get that going because it's now been a month and the kind of time that slipped away. Well, that was a long one. Any other questions on discussion on?
So that would
clerk rules?
allow like EFT payments and credit or debit, or how does?
Zelle work, you go into your bank account and you make a payment. That's typically how
Okay.
it works. But maybe they
Okay.
have a different credit card provider or processing company. Just ask Laura if there's anything. There's not a big volume. That's the problem.
I was just curious because I know some members want that instant, I have to register for the exam, but my town won't submit payment in time, so they just go on and pay with their credit card through PayPal. So I'm just curious how that will change things.
We'd have to ask Webster. We don't know what services they offer.
All
They
right.
do use Zelle. Webster does use Zelle.
Okay, thank you, Corey.
Question. Just with that, would that be a separate payment item or would it be cohesive with our current online registration process? Like, do we have to confirm that these payment providers integrate with our registration provider?
That's what Lou does.
Okay, and then second piece of that, I know from CTX side and then trying to look on this side, sometimes it's hard to tell who paid for who, what, when, where, why to reconcile payments. For example, like if someone pays on behalf of someone else, like this town treasurer pays, we get the town treasurer's information and not the registrants. So I'm assuming that's on the registration side. But I just not sure how much data is captured at the point of transaction.
It is registered at the application side, like Lana will sign up her assistant, so you get to see it on the application for the assistant, but it's Lana's credit card.
Okay.
For example, it could be anyone. I didn't mean to single out Lana, just I know
It's
an
okay, because
easy
it
one.
happens all the
I
time.
know all the time. That's why when I see yours 3 times, I just go to Torrington and just, look to see who was there.
Yeah.
And now I'm establishing P cards where I am here, so I'd rather do that because then you get credit towards your points and stuff like that.
Correct.
So Dave, if you don't mind reaching out to Webster Bank, and then once she adds me as a signature, I can follow up more with Laura too.
So I need to reach out about Zelle and adding you as a signature on the account?
Yeah, and removing John.
Okay.
Sometimes just the minutes should suffice, no?
Well, the minutes do, but they do electronic signature cards.
Oh.
So it's not difficult. It's not like we all have to go to Webster
Yeah,
Bank.
right.
With Bank of America, we all have to go there for CTX.
Because John and I had to go in person, but I don't know if that
Oh,
was
really?
because it was 5 years ago.
Probably because I just did it here and I started here in
Okay.
November and it's all electronic.
Mhm. Do we need a motion to change the signers? Or
No, that
update?
was already done.
That
That was done
Okay.
with the rules.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it just more as the follow-up, kind of the clerk roles and responsibilities kind of warped into multiple conversations here. So
Okay.
right now, we still do have access to PayPal, but I really want to get away from it. It's John's personal. I don't even think we should be using it at all.
Oh.
So I'll wait to hear from Dave and we'll move forward for then. Does anyone have anything else here for that part? Oh, Beth, go ahead.
Corey, could you just clarify the question that you had just asked for me in regards to the communication between the payment option and the CCMC? I just want to make sure I wrote it correctly.
Sure. My inquiry was to when an individual makes a payment that all registrant information is captured so they can be clearly identified if it was paid by another party or another office personnel, I guess.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
To make it easier, you have 2 people in your office, person A, person B. Person A and person B both register through the CCMC website. Person B pays for both of them. On the payment portal, it just looks like 2 payments from person B. It doesn't mention person A at all. So you have to go back to registration.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll wait for Beth to catch up.
So-
Yeah.
On those same lines then, we don't mail certificates anymore for courses or for things. So we still have on the cover of our exam, where do you want your certificate to be mailed? We don't do that anymore, right? It's all done electronically now, isn't it? Not
It
unless,
is.
yeah. So I can take that off. It just dawned on me. Okay, cool.
Actually, that can lead right into 7F CCMC exam. It's on the
Yeah.
cover of the final CCMC exam as well.
Okay.
I'll gladly change that cover. You guys will have a copy of the exam to review come this weekend. Everyone except Martin. Sorry, Martin. And you guys will get a chance to review it prior to. I'm about halfway done. So that cover brought up when I was doing it this weekend. I'm like, oh, we really don't need this. So thank you, Lana.
Yeah.
And
because we just did ours last week and I'm like, we don't mail anything anymore.
And as we're going through changing to Office, where right now everything is separated, part 1, part 2, there's so many different things. I'm going to try to make it like one file instead of having each section be its own. So
Okay.
that'll be nice, much nicer. So you guys will have that by next weekend. Okay. Anything on the exam that you guys want to talk about prior to, or just keep going as is? Conversation after, okay. Legislative changes. The CTX legislation did not go through. Made it halfway there. Martin, I'll let you speak more on that since you were directly involved. We emailed at 10:30 at night and thought it was going to go on and never happened.
Yeah, so yeah, and thanks to Lisa and Dave and Peter. I mean, they really worked hard background as well as the lobbyist with CTX too, and chatted with him throughout the last night as well as we're trying to get this stuff, passed. And, it's one thing where I don't think it had anything to do with the amendment, just so you know that, of going through to get passed in the Senate. I don't think that wasn't an issue at all. Obviously, we'll never truly know unless we get insight from any of, our senators on that. Senator Rahman, who's chair of P&D, had told us, oh, nope, I'm getting it on consent, everything else. And that's kind of where it got left for that, although we kept doing it. And of course, when the consent calendar, the couple at the end of the night got run, the number was not there for that. It will obviously, we would submit next year, for the whole thing. Also think, as last year, it was submitted, but it never got brought up and everything. So it's made it farther than it did previously. Also, the tax collection side, if you will, is newer to our legislators, of being that they're familiar with the assessment stuff. And because there was a motor vehicle fix in there, even though I tried to market it, if you will, as saying there's also a few motor vehicle things in this with the tax side, and everything, and kind of doing them as sister bills, for the whole thing. There was one point we were actually going to look at combining the two together because we weren't sure if the Senate was going to call it. So they were going to combine it in the House, and then all of a sudden the Senate called it. So couldn't combine it at that point for it to try to help get it passed, because obviously shorter session, they were doing that a lot with the bills of combining in and everything else. Obviously too much to try to put into the implementer bill where a lot of things get snuck into there on it, but this wasn't budget related, and they try to do it even though a lot of stuff in the implementer is not budget related. So I don't, in one sense, no one should feel bad about not having it pass. It made it very well. It was passed unanimously by committee. It passed unanimously in the House. It just Senate didn't call it. Senate sometimes is a little tougher to get it through. And I think that's why this year they put the assessment bill in the Senate first. So they got it done first because the House was going to be easier to get it through. That may be something we try next year, is get it to the Senate first, get them to approve it, and then get it to the House. And I've done that past. It took me 4 years to get one of my division bills through. Same bill, 4 years before I got it through. I'm not looking at 4 years here, 3 times the charm type of thing. So that's kind of a quick update of where we are, with that. So, as I said, there were some, provisions that tax collectors wanted. There were a couple provisions OPM had in there, so it was joint. No issues, on either side, that we're aware of. So it was just most likely a timing thing, and they picked their priority bills to get through.
That's a shame.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Martin. Yeah, Lana's
Thank you,
definitely
Martin,
put countless hours into this. I mean, this is a more of a CTX thing, and Dave will pick it up from there, because I believe, Martin, is your due date still October 1st for next year for changes to submit to you?
Around that. I get a little bit extra time because it's internal, but yeah, by mid-October is when I've got to have my proposals through. So obviously we'll work with, all of you again, CTX side, again, and if we've got to tweak the bill, or, you want to add a couple other provisions, something else that way, obviously we'll look at it and, resubmit something for next. And of course, we don't know, there'll be changes in P&D, and there'll be changes in the Senate and the House next year. So,
Everywhere.
with a lot of people, retiring.
Right.
Yeah, there are.
Yep.
Not Del Nicky, though. I got to
No.
wear my cowboy boots for him again. That was just the strangest thing. But anyways, it was funny. So worry about that. But speaking of legislation changes, was there anything that that passed that would affect CCMC in the courses, Martin, right now? I didn't think so either, but I just
No.
at least
I mean,
want to bring
obviously
it
I've
up.
got to go through to see if there was any little tweaks on stuff. I think there's a small provision in the budget bill on something. Bear with me, I have a huge document here of
That's
just
fine. We
budget
can,
stuff. But I don't think there was something in there, and of course, if I can find it as we're discussing, but I don't know if Dave has anything on, there was section, 174 of Senate Bill 1 with the
was the
municipal
number again?
option tax abatement.
What was the number again? I'm sorry.
It's Senate Bill 1, section 174.
Thank
This
you.
was the provision where it's, any municipality by legislative vote can abate all or portion,
Okay.
that when they're comprised of more than 500 units. I don't know if you remember that bill when it went through, they stuck it in here, added an amendment to also include the WPCA. So that's a tax. It's a municipal option for tax abatement.
okay. Did they remove the OPM out of that? Because I know that was a big conversation too.
There's nothing on OPM because it's municipal option now.
Oh, all right. Okay.
That was the way they get it through, is they switch it to municipal option. I think that was the one that I recall of being tax collector oriented, so
All right. We'll know more as you go
I think
through, but at
that
least,
was it. I knew there was one at least, and I think that was the only one.
so that might be a course 1 or course 3. But as we get more information on that, we'll send it out. That
Okay.
sound good, team? Okay. And then speaking of legislation, Martin, regulations, if we wanted to reopen the regulations, what is the process to go through that? Because it's been some time since these were done. We've had several conversations about, do we want a CCMC 2? Do we like the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4? We only have the provision you cannot take course 1 and 2 at the same time. So technically someone could take 1, 3, and 4 at the same time. You know, we've had a couple things that we've brought up before. So what would be the process to reopen the regulations? Just so we
So
all have
it's-
background.
So what I'd recommend is if we want to put this, I can go over it briefly, but there's flow charts, there's a whole guidebook, everything that I can share with everybody on the regulation piece and going into it a little more depth. But overall, it's, you start drafting, it comes through, obviously it's going to come through a OPM. It gets signed off there. It goes to the Attorney General's office. It goes to, roundabout. If they find anything, it gets kicked back. You have to have public comment. You have to respond to those public comments. Obviously, then are there any other changes? It gets reposted. All of it's done online through the regulation portal that they have. So it's a whole tracking piece. It does take about a year process from start to end to get through everything on it. I'm trying to think the last time, because there was a revision done with tax collector once, but it was minor. It wasn't huge, but we did go through and make changes. Previous committees and everything else had gone through and made some changes for it. And then, after the public hearings, it comes up before the legislative regulation committee, before the General Assembly. Once that gets approved, then it gets posted, Secretary of State site, then you have your new regulations. I mean, that's kind of the thing, but there's a whole flow chart that once you see it, you'd think that it's like, okay, it's worse than getting a bill passed. By the
I think
when you
we've
look
seen
at
it. I
when you
think it
look
was
at it and
sent
you
to
look at the
us.
flow chart, and everything, it's crazy. I'm happy to put together, I mean, I have, the guidebook, the way it have to be drafted, the changes, but there's a whole process you have to do, same as legislation. And there's a whole packet on that I can get out to everyone, on it, that just kind of shows that, and then we can discuss maybe at the next meeting, because that's going to take a little bit of time to just kind of go through. But I do recommend, if you're going to make any change to regulations, go through the entire thing to make sure you capture everything, because of the long process. Everything, don't go in and just say, well, we're just going to do this one section. Look at everything, make sure everything is up to date where you need, because if you're going through it, do it all.
So let's do a quick roundtable. Who thinks we need to reopen the regulations? I know I absolutely do. Anyone else? And you guys each comment what part you'd like to bring up or not bring up. Lisa B saying no, she doesn't want it, and that's fine. Lana?
Well, and I mean, the only thing that I would think is where somebody could take course 3 or 4 up before course 1 or 2, because we get the questions all the time as well.
Yeah. So you
I
would
think
want to
it's too
address
risky.
course.
I think it's
Well-
too risky, and I think that we need to focus on other things right now, like getting more instructors. To me, that is, I think we're taking on too much stuff. And we have a situation where we really need to onboard new
Oh, we lost
instructors
Dave.
for these courses. So to me, that is what this committee should be working on. I think the regulations could be tweaked, but I don't see it as a priority right now because there's only 7 of us on the committee and there's only so much time we have. That's my 2 cents.
Corey, maybe too new.
I'm a little too green on that. So I'm open
Fair
to
enough.
it, but I would really need to get a firmer understanding and bearing on that first.
Beth? No,
Oh, you're
okay.
muted, Beth. You're muted.
Nope, there we go. No, I mean, I'd have to sit and go through them again as we did it originally, but right now, off the top of my head, I can't find any reason that we should reopen them.
Okay, do we want to create a CCMC 2? That was the whole idea, to focus more with everything that's been going on with all the recent problems that we're having in different towns, to focus more on the accounting side, to make sure that they're matching to finance, have those sign-offs, a true understanding of the reports, a little more depth.
Do you mean
You can-
another committee?
Nope, nope, you know how CCMA has a 1 and a 2? And the 2 is a reval?
Oh, a designation.
Yep, a designation.
what
So it'd be a CCMC 2 designation where you would show how you could balance the finance, a much more in-depth, more financial side versus just the day-to-day and the enforcement.
I think we can do that with what we already have. We can do it in course 3. Because we have the
That's
ability
okay.
to keep the curriculum
Yeah,
however we want it.
Yeah, sure.
So you could expand course 3 if you wanted to.
Yeah, you know what
Which would be another course.
No, it
Because
wouldn't be
there-
another course. It would be part of course 3.
Course 3 is already gets complaints how long it is now.
I know, but I don't know. I don't think we need a separate designation. I think if we see a weakness in what the designation is, Dave wants to come back in.
Yeah.
We have the authority under the current
David returned.
regulations.
11/17.
We have
I don't
the
think we-
authority to set the curriculum to be whatever we want it to be.
Correct. We can set the curriculum to whatever we want it to be. You just can't add another designation.
Right.
And I think that's where,
Yeah.
I think we need
Lisa was
another
mentioning,
designation.
So correct, if you could beef up the, courses and everything else that you want to do, on it there. But if you want to change the designation, you would have to, do that. Yeah, because you have the municipal finances 3, you could, step that up and make it more meaty, whatever else, on it that way, if that's what you're, looking at doing. The CCMC updated in 2021, the last regulations, CCMA last updated in 2016, so there's, not to say that they have to be updated, on it. I think it's, and perhaps maybe a recommendation is to do this is, I'll volunteer, Lisa and myself, is we go through the regulations and see if there's anything in there that's triggers, something that needs to be updated, because of current statutes, anything else that way, and then maybe bring it up at the next meeting. Just kind of do a high level overview of it and be like, is there rationale that we need to make other changes, on it, and then
Like
perhaps
starting
that
with
way.
course 3, we had someone start with course 3, remember, Lisa? And we're like, no, you really don't want to start with course 3 with all of them. But Beth, you had your hand up, so I didn't want to.
No, I was just gonna say, I don't think that there's a need to have another designation. I think that it could be handled in course 3, like Lisa B stated. But I also wanted to mention, so I don't know what everyone's relationship is with their finance office, and it's not that I have a good relationship with my finance office, but they're very much separate entities, and it's designed to be that way here. So I don't think that it's in every single town that they want necessarily that much of a relationship built.
It's not so much of the
Yeah.
relationship as just saying your numbers
Mm.
match.
I understand that, and that's our numbers do match, but I think in our case that they would not really, I don't know that they would support me going to school for that. Do you know what I mean? If I had to go and get another designation, I would think that, well, they might say that's not necessary because finance does that. I just want to give you the perspective on how it would be looked at here.
That's fine. Maybe
Yeah,
it's something
yeah.
more. That's why we're having this conversation. What do you guys
Yeah.
think? The way I envision it, it is more on course 3. It takes the 2 weeks, Lisa, and extrapolates it more. Like it makes them match their current year actuals to both budget and levy with a 3-year course, teaching them how to look at the trends versus the levy versus budget to help them with that. Getting their finance report, whatever it may be, that they sign off or whatever is showing that they match. Like, here are my monthly numbers, whatever finance does with them, saying, yes, they agree they match. It's something as simple as that, but just that the tax collector understands where the revenue actually comes from. What do they do with their overpayments? Where are their refunds? Are their refunds net or is it an expense? Because every town does that different as well.
So, Lisa, one other thought, because I was just comparing the assessor and the tax collector one, which is interesting because the assessor one actually says it's certification of assessors and tax collectors, even though it's not true. That's the way it's titled. That's how old it was. But one of the things CCMA does is that you cannot take their 2A and 2B unless you've completed courses 1A and 1B, as prerequisites, on it. And if there's an issue with them taking like course 3 first, we just put in a prerequisite that they have to complete, 1 and 2 before they can take 3. You don't need that. We don't need that in the regulations.
It can just be a
It's not in the
prerequisite.
regulations for the assessors, so maybe that might help in a sense. So they have, you need to take 1 and 2 first before you can take, 3 or 4. So you have the basics, so they can't just jump in at 3. They've got to do that. That might be something to look at.
We should add that sooner than later anyway, because even course 2 shouldn't be taken without course 1.
Right.
But we still haven't heard from David because he left and went back and forth. So I want to
Yeah.
make sure we circle back to David's idea too. Lana, you got your hand up?
Well, so I thought Dave had mentioned a while back that course 4 truly is the beginning of working in a municipality. That
Yep.
should really be course 1.
Yep.
And so, I
Or
can
a
see
1A
not
and 1B.
taking course
I
3.
disagree.
You disagree?
I totally disagree. I totally disagree. Course, I mean, you go ahead and finish your thought and then I'll tell
Well,
you
that
why
was
I
it.
disagree.
Well, that
Course
was it.
4 is sort of a standalone course, but when
Well-
you get people coming on board into the business, they're not going to want to spend their first course on course 4. They need to get into rate bill, tax warrant, stuff like that right away.
I disagree. I think it's their bosses that want them to do that. I think they're using course 1 as a training technique and forcing Lana and Carla to train their new employees.
Well, and so I can agree with both of you a little bit because we get a ton of people that have never heard of selectmen town meeting, strong mayor, weak mayor, etc. So that portion of it, people are like, who is the Board of Finance? Who is the, council members? So we don't teach that because it's in course 4 and they're confused as who has to approve this and who has to approve that. Where if they had some knowledge of how the government works, ahead of time, it might help a little bit. And so that's why that I said that.
Okay. David, so what do you think about opening up the regulations?
Well, my only thought to doing it is because I think course 3, I think you guys are running out of, with the, you know, with unfortunately with everything happening in the news, it's like, how do you balance both, you know, teaching that whole collector balancing to finance, but also teaching, you know, ethics, segregation of
Ethics.
duties, fraud prevention, and all of that as well, because that is obviously a growing issue as well. So, um, I don't know if it's a matter of going into the regulations, changing the regulations to create another designation, or just kind of reshuffling our current courses. You know, like course 4, the most important component there is, you know, talking about local government, because what I do find is that most of our students, they have no idea what type of government they work under. They have no idea that the person sitting next to them that works for a large city, everything is completely different compared to them sitting in, you know, working in a small town, and they have no idea what a, you know, first selectman, board of selectmen. So I do think that is very important. You should know the type of government you're working for. We do, you know, talk about other things that, you know, do not directly impact the person's ability to do their job. Like we talk about the federal government, the state government, but we think it's important because it helps to better understand your local government. And then we go into the legislative process and we say, hey, you know, here's where you can be impacted at the state level is legislation and public hearings and getting involved. But then, you know, we talk about in course 4 how to be a supervisor, dealing with the media, but I don't know if, you know, we open the regulations and add a designation, or if we try to rework my course. I'm not trying to like minimize the work I've done, but I don't know if we could just focus on just the levels of government, local, state, and federal, and make it not the pre-course or course 1, but make it another like course, second pre-course or course 1B, because I think I agree. I agree both with Lisa B that I think course 1 should be taught first. They should understand, you know, rate bill, all the basics of tax collector first, but maybe next it would be understanding local government. And then later going into collection enforcement and budgets and all of that. So I don't know if it's just reorganizing how like my course should be taken second, maybe. Rather than calling it 4, because yes, we've said you can take it out of order, but a lot of people take it last, and maybe they don't necessarily need to take it last.
So
I
as
think
you-
you're also, I'm sorry.
Go
I
ahead,
think
Beth.
you're gonna run into the situation where there are towns that are gonna send their new employees to just course 1 and the pre-course, because they're not looking for them to be a tax collector. They're looking for them to be a clerk or to be an assistant or something at the front end, and they don't need them or want them to proceed in the program, but they want them to have that foundation of course 1.
I think
I
we're gonna
mean,
get that
we're
anyway.
always gonna run into that.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think we can ever get around that.
No,
Yeah, I
No.
don't think that'll ever change,
no.
but that, you know, that just speaks to the volume and the attendance. You
What
know,
if we required them to take the pre-course and put a small section in there about local government?
But the pre-course is only 6 hours, and that's already a long day. I
But-
mean, we could still keep discussing this, but do you see why I wanted to bring it up? There's just a lot of things that we've all mentioned before, whether it's prerequisites, you know, whatever it may be. There's definitely inconsistencies we need to address. Would we all agree with that?
Yes.
Yes.
You know, and so what is the best course of action for us to get those inconsistencies on a page that we can all agree to? We all agree that there should be prerequisites for, you know, course 3. We all agree there should be, you take course 1 before course 2. That there should be more than just taking, you can't take 1 and 2 together. I think we all want to try to help when whatever that right course of action is for teaching, to try to help what's going on and prevent what's happening in the news now. And I think it's with all of this spiraling, that's where I'm saying, let's try to look at the regulations. And my mindset was being is, sorry guys, well, I've just had my busy time. You guys are busy in July. I'm not. So I could work with Martin to kind of come up with something, whether it's just, prerequisites, regulations, or something along those lines. We want to address this is what it boils down to. And I don't have the answers. That's why I'm asking you for everyone's input. Go ahead, Martin.
One other thought, Lisa, and it's kind of sidetracked, but part of looking at this with certification and everything else, because the tax collector side's a little bit different than the assessor side. The assessor requires that be certified in order to sign the grand list. Okay, so there's an impetus there, in statute that they need to be certified to sign the grand list. That's the only thing they have to be certified for. They can do everything else without going through and being certified, but they has to be signed by a certified assessor for that through the courses. CCMC, there is no statute that requires a tax collector to be certified to do any of their functions. Lisa and I have talked about this, previously looking at, well, do we require them in order to file their M1 to the state that they be required to have, a certification, which adds some teeth into it for the education for the certification. So I think, as we're discussing this, I did want to just bring it up because it's, this point, a town would be like, well, there's no reason for us to be certified because there's nothing in statute says that I have to be certified. We all agree that, yes, it's very helpful to have the certification, not just because it's nice to be able to add the initials after your name, but because you have the education, you're certified on it. The only thing we found that could be tied to as a state reporting would be the M1, form, which you'll learn all about on Thursday's conference. But, so just looking at that is just trying to throw a thing into there of, as we're looking at this whole process, is trying to perhaps also look at a requirement that they have to be certified, in order to perform a certain function with the state. May be something for us to look at as well.
Then maybe not the M1 too, but that was just easiest because
Yeah.
we have elected collectors, just something to say you would have to be certified to do something. Lisa B?
Then you're gonna end up with the whole elected versus appointed thing.
Why?
And because you're gonna end up with towns with elected collectors basically hiring a CCMC from another town to sign their M1, just like we have with assessors.
Mhm.
That, I'm sorry, but they have nothing to do with that grand list and they're putting their name on it. And we all know that's a problem. We all know that's a problem. So I don't know that that's the answer. I mean, I
Well,
like,
there's a way to fix that, Lisa.
I don't know what that is.
Just make everyone appointed.
Well, there you go. But if that's what you want to do, then do it. But I mean, that
I
would
know,
be
yeah.
that would be an answer. But I don't know. I mean, I'm very,
Yeah.
very hesitant because you see what happens with legislation. You know better than anybody. You
Right.
open something up and you don't know what you're going to get when it comes back to you.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely.
So that's my concern. Particularly, it's a gubernatorial election year. There's going to be all kinds of crazy stuff happening. I don't know. That's just me. I'm cautious and paranoid anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Right, and you currently have a local, or the previous collector in New Britain losing their job for, the person that was the mayor there running for, or was the selectman or mayor there, I'm not sure which they are, but now running for governor. And it's all over the media and you have no idea what that
Mhm.
impact can be.
But, I know that we're being recorded, but have you seen the latest that she charged personal?
Yes.
Yes, but I
and
don't,
a town
who knows?
card?
Have we seen the proof of it yet, or is it just in the news? I don't know. That's the
Yeah, I don't know
problem.
either.
We
Well,
don't know the proof of any of it.
Yeah, now we're
Right.
getting off course. So our
Yes.
goal is like, we know that there's another town that has nothing to do with,
Yep.
governmental elections that had a huge issue. And,
Yeah.
there's a first degree larceny currently in the courts.
Yeah.
So we
Mhm.
do know that there's another one also out there. And I don't believe New Britain has been formally charged, but the idea is,
Right.
what can we do collective as a group? To me, it's our responsibility. We're responsible for the teaching and the training and the education. What can we do as a team to try to help prevent this?
Mm.
And the person that was in question that you're discussing went through all these courses and had their certification, correct?
Nope.
Correct.
They
They
lost their
did.
certification.
She lost
Then
it
they
and then she
took-
took a test, right? And
She
failed.
lost it and she took back up, then she failed.
Mhm.
Then she took the courses again, but does not have her designation. She never even applied. So she does not have her designation. And right now we would have grounds, but that's another whole conversation.
Mhm.
But she is not certified.
But she was at one point and she still did it.
Mm.
Correct. And then we have now the new recertification process.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I guess that's my point. And I mean, I agree, we should definitely put everything in place to ensure that we touch upon everything that we need to, that we have protections in place, we have the education in place, to say we
That's-
definitely covered everything we should have to prevent this from happening, but we cannot account for human nature. So,
Right, but we can say, here are the reports saying this is the revenue we received this
Right.
month. And
well,
right now,
that
if that
should
was
happen.
done,
Yeah.
if that was done in that town,
Mhm.
they wouldn't be in the situation they're in.
But isn't it the responsibility of the other departments as well?
As a
so it's-
finance director, I can tell you it is not my responsibility to read the QDS reports.
But it's your responsibility to balance with the tax collector
Tax
monthly. And
collector.
if you're not
Mhm.
getting those reports,
Mhm.
shouldn't you report that to somebody that you're not getting them?
That
You would
can't
just give
balance.
different report. But it'd be a different way of balancing. You don't know what they're giving you or not giving you. I just happen to know how to read the reports. Every town is different.
This is true.
And so,
Yes.
and so
I know.
that's, and once again, refunds. Is it net revenue? As I think it should be, because otherwise it's considered an overcollection in my mind. Other people have the refunds coded as an expense. You need to know that some people do current year only as net revenue and prior years as an expense. There's a million different ways that they go about it. And because there's no statutory law saying, or GAAP rules on how that needs to be recorded.
But we as tax collectors don't record that. We report it, but we don't
Right, but
record it.
if you did your monthly reports, this is what I have for current year
Well, I
and
do.
prior year, and then
Mhm.
Yes.
I'm sure you do. I'm not questioning that you
Okay.
don't, trust me. But
Right.
you would have to have just like a sign off in your finance department, received, acknowledged. What they do with it from there, that's not the tax collector's concern. But it's that covering the tax collectors, but saying, this is what I show as revenue. This is what I show as refunds. This is what I say I
Mhm.
collected. And that's where I want to try to bring it to that point.
How would you elicit that accountability? And that's almost talking about like standardizing things across the board. And especially when people do different type of financial reports, because like I'll talk, like for my example, like I'll talk about what I do in my town with other tax collectors and they're aloof from that portion of it.
Yeah,
So-
your
and
overpayments
then-
are wacky in your town.
Yeah, and then between even on like the tax collector's report, for example, and then working with the auditors, like monthly, quarterly, and beyond, it's a different financial reporting. So would you be talking about standardizing something across the board? But then if
I
people use
couldn't.
different vendors, there wouldn't be a way to do that. It would be
I
more
couldn't.
focused on accountability and education. And then what is the CCMC responsibility to hold people accountable, possibly revoke a certification, and then what would be the standard of that? Like what would be the how to hold someone accountable? I guess you would say, like, how would you report that to some? What is the reporting function if there was an error or there was fraud? I'm not aware of that now.
We don't
even
have any
within-
enforcement at all right now.
The enforcement is what I was getting after. Like even in my own town, like if there's misproportions, whether there's not a good channel for that.
Yeah, there's currently no tool for enforcement for any of it, unfortunately.
Right.
Well, if I may, when Jennifer Gauthier was there, Carla and I, we helped OPM do an audit on Naugatuck, and so there was starting to become where, just where the OPM was starting to get just a little more involved. Martin, are you guys starting to look at towns again, or have you not, or no?
No, because
Is there a
we're,
reason why?
yes, because of legality. We're not auditors. We have no legal authority. to be able to do so. So we've been curtailed back to be able to
Oh.
do any of that.
Because it was nice that it was starting to happen again.
Yeah,
Hmm.
no, we've been curled back because we get a number of things more on the assessor side, and we can't investigate. We can't, we
Wow.
don't have any of those authorities we've been told, by our legal. And then,
Mhm.
anything else has to go through the attorney general or through, the municipal audits. We get stuff from the state auditors and we don't have the authority. It's a bigger
Wow.
thing now because we're getting a lot of complaints and everything else. And so we've been told, no.
Wow. That's
So
a shame.
that's
I mean,
why
in
we keep,
statute, because statutorily, we don't have, any authority to do investigation.
Does our committee have any authority?
No.
But can it be looked at? I remember when I first started, Carla, Lana, you and Carla came to Harwinton and you did like an operational audit.
Yeah, we did for Litchfield
Yeah.
County only though.
Yeah, but is that like
Just
some
as-
sort of a program? Not that you're looking for fraud, because you can't go in saying you're looking for fraud, but can it be something to help try and hone in some of these things and this reporting that should be going on? Is that a function that the committee could get involved in, or is it just too expansive? I don't know.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
shaking
More of
my
a
head.
training
Yeah.
thing rather than a audit type of thing.
right.
Yeah.
We started just to help the
Yeah,
new collectors out and,
Right.
and stuff we found in some of the towns were like, oh my goodness, what's happening here? But,
mhm.
yeah,
Well, I mean more of like could we somehow build a training thing off
it's
of
gonna
that?
be time consuming because I thought
Yeah,
about that and
well,
I've discussed it with Mark.
yeah.
How can we go into every town and be viewed as a training helper and you're gonna be viewed with knives, axes and bullets. So they don't
Yeah.
want you there.
Yeah,
Versus if we do a recertification training. And as you can see what happened with the first round of recertification, the number of people that now that they've taken courses have retired. The number of people, I mean, mass exodus when we started doing the recertification. And by having, I think, even another level 2 and having the recertification with that, where every 5 years they prove they balance to finance, whether it's just a sign up, but just the fact that they're doing their reports, at least it covers the tax collector side. We cannot be responsible for the municipal finance side, but we can be responsible for the tax collectors knowing what revenue they should have being reported to their finance and getting a sign off.
Question, Martin, could the state maybe have one more form that we have to file with you guys and then it's checked up at the state level? Sorry, but that might, solve everything then.
Yeah, but there's, my unit, we collect obviously the data, we're collecting the mill rate and, the tax levy information. That's all we get from the tax collectors. I don't have anything else that we
Well,
would
right,
need to have a reporting of.
right, but create some kind of a reporting that finance has to sign off on, in the collector and maybe the CEO of the town, just to make sure that all of the balancing is happening at the beginning of the fiscal year.
That's called your independent auditor.
What? But they're obviously not doing all their job
But
correctly,
but that's
think,
another,
because-
the independent audits go through the municipal finance section
know.
here, completely separate from us. For reporting and their independent audit. That is part of their role.
No, I
To
know.
do that. So that's why the state's not, doing those. Their division does look at the audits and reviews, those independent audits, the State Single Audit Act, and we do go back to towns for various reasons, type of thing, whether they're not reporting a grant properly, anything else, or they also include, the budget stuff, and, all honesty, when, going through that with the budget is making sure that they're submitting a balanced budget, the tax revenues, everything else on it. That division does do those type of reportings and everything else that way. And those are completed by the CFO, the finance officer,
What
the
if
budget
the-
report.
What if the M1 was expanded upon where not only do we need to sign it, but again, we have to show the BAA balancing with it and, just.
But that's the
some-
assessor side.
And that's only the beginning balance, not the ending balance. That doesn't show you what you actually collected. We're talking about after collected, not what your open receivables was at the beginning of the year. But Lisa B, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I mean, the M1 used to have other information on it too. It used to, there were any number of questions that were theoretically unrelated to anything.
Oh,
It used
yeah.
to ask us, how much did you collect in credit cards?
Right.
Do you assign
Right.
liens or not?
Yep.
If you do, how much did you assign and when was it approved? There were any number of other questions that were on the M1, so theoretically you could do that again.
Right.
Right.
You went to the
Yes,
standardized
forgot.
format, remember?
Yeah. And I forgot all about that, Lise. Nice.
And they were there and when your payments were due, but
Yeah.
we have no one that requests that information, so we removed it all because why are we collecting data that we don't use or need? So that's why we don't collect any of that any longer, because there's no sense of that, if we're collecting, just because I remember those questions and, yeah, we removed all of those. And
They
it
were
included,
useless.
when is your payments quarterly, everything else. And it's like, I've been here for almost 9 years and we've never used that information. So
Right.
it's like, why are we collecting it and making more work? We're trying to streamline things.
So-
Granted, obviously we're happy to look at something again if we need to, but.
But I mean, maybe you should put something on there too about, have you waived interest? If so, give me the instances when you did and the minutes from the meetings when you did, and make them sign off that they didn't. And oh, no, we never waived interest. And then when it turns up that they did, then you've got something there that, maybe they'll think twice about it too, if they have to sign. I mean, I'm just throwing out ideas out here, and at noon I have to go because I have people coming to take a retake exam. So
So, all right, as you can see, we still have a lot to discuss. I think we all have some great ideas, and I just at least wanted to start this conversation. We do not meet again till June 2nd. We can talk about it a little bit more. It's going to be the meeting with instructors. It's already a long day. That's like a full day in Berlin anyway, and we're grading the exams. So we can have some more preliminary conversations, then we can decide to go from there. But I do think we need to do something, guys. Whatever it may be, we have to have some sort of consistency and prerequisites and whatever it may be. So thank you, everybody, and keep thinking on these lines. We're not going to solve the world's problems, obviously, in sitting here discussing it in 30 minutes. Let your brain think about things, write things down, and let's group back up again at our June 2nd meeting, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you, everyone. Next meetings, May 22nd, appeals. That meeting will be canceled if we have no one that we deny. True to course, as we've done before. May 28th is the final exam. We will have to take a look to see how many people we approve. If there's more than 15, we will need a third proctor because they don't have the room, and David has offered to do that. So we'll do that when we get down to it. June 2nd, that's the meeting with the instructors. That is in person in Berlin. Martin, I can make an online component if you'd like for you, because I know you're not there to grade the exams, but if you want to be there for the CCMC meeting, we usually open up with the meeting with the instructors first, then go into CCMC. Is that correct, guys?
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll go into grading the exam. So that's a full day. Okay. Let's see, other new business from committee members, titles. Lana, you had brought that up.
Yes, the letterhead, I don't have to have my town after it, right?
Well, I can do whatever. The idea was
But I'm the
when
only
Martin
one, in
had
other words.
when we did our signatures, Martin didn't want us to have our town associated with it, to try to make us as a person, not with the town. So that's why I didn't put the town in the letterhead. And
Mine
we
is
put the
on there, though.
titles, right, because you didn't have a title.
Oh,
So-
that's okay.
So,
I don't need a title.
I can leave it blank. I can
Yeah,
go
just
back
blank.
to all towns. I am open to suggestions, guys.
It doesn't matter.
Well, now
Just-
she's
it's weird with me
helping,
being the only one.
she's helping with some of, like what, one or two of the clerk duties. Could you do a
Oh, I'll be the assistant clerk. Yeah.
assistant clerk?
No, I don't need a title. It's fine. It's fine. It just looks weird with just me having a title, right? Or a town.
Town, yeah.
I can
And
make
that's
it
fine if
blank.
there's- Yeah. It's
I didn't
fine.
want to make you blank though.
It's all good.
I looked
don't mind
empty.
being blank. I've had other stuff for years. I'm fine. Been there, done that, right, Lisa? Although you keep doing it, so. No, it's fine. I don't need anything.
All right, I can remove your town. That's fine.
Okay. I did
Other
have
new
one
business.
other thing.
Yep.
Certificates, course certificates. Do you want to sign them or type in your name?
We always did electronic. I'm more concerned that they're all the same. Like they have our right logo, they all stay the same thing. I know we addressed it last fall, but just if you could have me approve it prior to, and
Sure.
I'm fine with an electronic signature. It also is more important that Corey gets these lists. Sometimes people send the list prior to the second, the retake, so to speak. He needs the final list so we can update Cantone.
Okay.
It
And
is
it's
very,
Lisa
very
A,
important.
correct? It's Lisa A.
Yeah, it's not Lisa M. Madden, it's Lisa A. Madden.
Okay.
So just have me approve the certificates, that'll be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And also you really had one other thing, a student was questioning their exam grade.
And so I don't know if you saw my last email this morning. She
No, I
was the
don't.
one who actually
Oh, let's
cheated
not
on.
get into that. Let's not get into that part. It's just more, what's the protocol for questioning a grade? We had a student question the grade. Was it the retake or just the first one? I didn't know if it was the
Just the
retake.
first one.
So she can still take the retake.
Yes.
Okay. So
This is the second time they are taking the course, failed the first exam and the retake of the first one, maybe a year ago, 2 years ago. So this person failed again and she was upset and was not nice to Carla. But she circled back and apologized, and now she is going to do the retake.
Okay, so that's good. So my question was, we offer only the courses, not for the final. When you take the exam, you can take the retake, like immediately thereafter, and that's where Lisa B has to run off to. If someone questions the two instructors for the exam and the retake, I almost feel like they're the instructors. I don't want to take away their authority as the instructors, but do we feel we need to address it if someone's challenging the second retake? I don't know if we do. It's the instructors. I don't want to undermine the instructors.
So. Yeah, I feel that way too. You don't want to undermine them. And I know that they both correct the exam separately, especially for one that might be close. And they take their time to review it for the benefit of the student, if they are able to, just to be able to read through their answers to make sure they're reading it correctly. I mean, I think we all do that when we're grading.
Yeah.
Lisa B?
What I would do as an instructor, if it were me, and if I had a person in that position and they failed the exam and they failed the retake and they were questioning it, I would present the exam to the committee voluntarily and have the committee look at it.
Right, so that's why that I did.
Yeah, I mean,
So that's what I asked, is
but
if
we
you
wouldn't-
guys wanted to review it.
I wouldn't feel comfortable asking the instructor, but if the instructor felt that in good faith, that's what I would do. I would say, we're being challenged, the instructors do report to the committee.
Right.
So I would present it to the committee, and that would be the quote unquote appeal, to give the individual the benefit of the doubt, because you could potentially foresee a situation where someone would have an issue with an instructor. And this way you have 7 people, or if Martin is, I don't know if Martin is part of this or not because it's an exam, but at least 6 individuals, looking at it to confirm what the instructor, put as a grade on that. That's how I would handle it. And I apologize, guys, but I gotta run.
Yeah,
Okay,
we know.
Okay.
Thank you, Lisa.
Bye, Lisa.
Bye.
I guess after, sorry, I think Beth has her hand up.
Go ahead, Beth.
Right, hold on. Oh, okay. I was just going to ask, because I don't recall. So when we do the final exam and we have a grade that is borderline or a low grade, how many people do we have review it at that
Minimum
point?
3.
Minimum of 3.
that's why that I felt that two of us looked at it. I gave the person a 72, Carla 74. You know, should we have somebody else? This was on Thursday, I think, or Wednesday. And she was upset, but she did, like I said, calm down. And so, you know, so now we're
take the
okay. If
retake.
she fails the retake, we shall see. And so then I
Okay.
can come back to you guys.
We don't
Okay,
have an
sounds-
additional appeal process, right?
No.
No.
No, but at least if she does fail on the retake, you know, have a, you know, third set of eyes on it. And so hopefully, let's just hope that she passes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Corey?
Oh, so just so that there is no official appeals process for the individual class exams nor the overall state exam. There's just a retake process.
Correct.
Correct.
So then it's my understanding that a student could not appeal.
As
Correct.
it stands now.
Since there is no appeal, it's just everything is final.
Yep.
But if we came to the committee and said, okay, we have somebody who's upset with us as instructors and the grading, would somebody else look at it and confirm, you know, if they failed or passed? And so, you know, so that was, you know, it was my question or concern, whatever. But
Okay.
hopefully right now, we're okay. We're gonna have the retake probably next week, and so I'll know more June 2nd,
Okay, that sounds good.
okay?
I just at
Okay.
least wanted to bring it
Thank
up.
you.
Go ahead, Martin.
Yeah,
Yeah, just a sidebar on it, where it's relative is the Assessor Association kind of went through some similar things. There's no appeal process, you know, in the regs for either, you know, to appeal only the, you know, denial of the application. The Assessors Association switched a couple of years ago, I think. I think they're still doing it this way, where the instructors do not grade the exams, the committee does
oh,
on all exams. Takes it out of the instructor's hands to keep it fair and equitable and transparent, where the committee itself, the CCMA, actually grades all the exams, not the instructors. So that way there can be no favoritism, nothing, you know, it takes all that other, I'm not trying to create more work for the committee because I can't grade the exams, but I'm just throwing that out there. You know, if there are, you know, other problems, everything else, that's the way they addressed it. I
All
think, you know, so
Let's talk about that
future
on June
topic
2nd.
discussion.
Yeah, but we can bring that up with, because I can tell you course 3 exams are extremely long and lengthy to grade.
And those, and I know it's different because I know you guys have essay pieces, you know, in some of
Yes.
these where the assessors doesn't have, you know, essays, you know, within that. So that's, you know, a little bit different about grading, and it's, you know, difficult grading essay, you know, I'm sure,
yeah,
you know, portions of it and everything else, but that was just the way they solved it, you know, so, but
Okay,
obviously just throwing it out there just so you're aware.
thank you, yeah.
yeah, that is good to know. Thank you. Not that we need more work right now.
No,
either,
but
Right.
But it's
Well-
good to keep it, we'll keep it in the back of mind. Let's see how your student does, because there
Yeah.
is no
Yeah.
appeals process.
yeah, because this is the first time that this has happened to me since 2008. And so, you know, so we'll see. Okay.
Okay. All right, guys, thank you. And so now we're actually at the new number 10, which is the final exam. So we do have, it looks like Corey sent it out to everybody. Looks like he still hasn't confirmed New Canaan's payment
Correct. That was the
of
one.
money order, but there is a New Canaan for Leanna Harris. So
Yes.
Sharon paid personally,
Did
and then also
Leanna take,
course 4.
did she take class 4?
She did, I looked it up, hold on.
Oh, okay.
But it's not listed in here.
Yeah, that I couldn't find Sharon's class 4. I found the other classes that she had.
Sharon's or Leanna's?
Sharon or
Leanna's.
Leanna?
Oh wait, Leanna, sorry. Leanna, I found class 1 through 3, but not a class 4 passing.
Class 4 is in May of 23.
So
Okay.
I'm sorry, so I'm confused. So Leanna Harris has has Sharon's email?
I think it was just copied wrong.
Oh, I was copying that down wrong. Sorry, I do have to
No,
amend that.
that's okay.
I grabbed
And
that
no,
one.
no payment for Sharon as of right now.
Actually, Leanna is actually Westfield. So Leanna's information needs to be updated.
Okay.
Can you guys see the Cantone sheet for Leanna?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yep.
Oh, Westfield
So-
Fire Department. Yeah.
Yeah, Westfield
Oh,
Fire.
she's Westfield.
Okay.
So she did course 1 in December 23,
Am I grabbing the
course
right
2
person?
to, I don't know.
Yeah, I
So
think I
she-
was looking at the wrong one, so I might have to. Thanks.
So then Leanna did submit an application and the money, and so she's legitimate?
And then the other one, the payment, we don't know about yet.
Right,
Right.
Yeah,
okay,
Leanna Harris, we do have an application and a payment for.
okay.
It's Sharon Winter. I do not, my office does not have. I do not.
So do we have to make any sort of motion on this?
Yeah,
Well, we
Okay.
have to, because we
And
have to
so we'd have to do
approve
it pending her payment being received?
by tomorrow, because the denial, if we give her a denial, she has to appeal it. And then we'd have our May 22nd meeting. You know, the May 22nd,
And
if there's no denials.
I'll just say that, so Sharon was just in my class, a couple weeks ago. She was part of the spring class. John did tell me, because he said, because you teach course 4, find out who is trying to take the exam. I show them the website and I emphasize payment in hand. You must go to the website and pay through PayPal if you don't think your finance is going to submit the payment in time. So she was made aware.
She reached out to me and said they physically put it in the thing, course 3.
May 5th, yeah.
She physically put it, her boss or her put it in we're trying to find the email. Because she knew that she had to get it in there. So I wonder, Martin, you think it's safe to approve pending verification when Corey goes in the office tomorrow?
Yeah, I think that's fine. As long as we, have it in the notes that it's just pending the verification of payment. And if it's not there, then it winds up being denied.
Correct. And then we can go from there. All right, so how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 17 people.
I'll make a motion to approve the 17 registrants pending for Sharon if Corey gets it by tomorrow.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Okay. So Corey, once you confirm it, usually it'd be you sending out confirmation of the exam, but I'll take care of it. You're just getting back. So I'll take that portion off your hands.
Okay.
Let them know the time, and then I'll copy you on the email.
Lisa,
David,
are
it
we-
looks like we will need you if there's
I was about to
17.
say 17 in that small room is definitely not.
They capped it at 15. So I'll have to email Debbie Dennis to let her know that we are going to need the additional room. And then
I'd
if
be
you
more
could come.
comfortable with the 2 rooms and having everyone sitting at their own table.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
Yep. So what we planned prior to is the big room was already taken for that day. And if we had to go to second room, it couldn't just be myself and Lisa B. There's bathroom breaks, walking back and forth, whatever it may be. So David offered to help proctor the exam. They don't have a room big enough, so we will have to be in 2 rooms. And we always try to have everyone have their own table.
So
Yeah.
do you need someone else?
No, we'll be fine with the 3 of
Okay,
us.
so
No,
you'll just
because one of
text
us
each
can,
other or something?
one
Yeah.
of us can float if we
Yeah.
need to. And
Okay. And the exam's May 28th, correct?
Correct.
At 10 o'clock?
Yeah, so I'll email Debbie Dennis. And I
Okay.
even know that there's one person that was supposed to be on this list, and I don't know where their application is. But it had to be in Corey's hands by May 7th. So All right, this is done. We voted on this, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Vote second. So what do we do if someone sent in an application and payment that's not on this list that got to Corey's office by May 7th? I'm thinking of one person in particular that I
Can you-
know this could easily happen to.
Can you address it in the appeals? No,
Yeah,
you
'cause it
can't.
would
That's
be-
June. Yeah, that's after, right?
It'd be
Mhm.
May 22nd. No,
Yeah.
you can address it in the appeals.
Yeah.
So they mailed it and just.
I
Corey-
don't know.
Oh,
It's someone that I know that's taking the retake today with Lisa B. And I don't know, and I had told this person specifically they had to send the form and payment prior to, but I do not know if Corey's received it. I think that would have to be part of the appeals process
Yeah, I would think you'd have to just wait and see.
and
Yeah.
see if Corey has any more.
Yeah. By the way, I will be on vacation May 22nd, so I will not be there.
Okay.
For the appeal.
Thank you for letting me know. As I said, the idea of those is typically
What-
not to have them.
Yeah.
what time would the meeting be on Friday
10.
the 20th?
I believe it's
10?
set up for 10.
And just to be
Okay.
clear, it's the 22nd. I know it's a Friday. I know we
Yeah.
normally don't, but I figure okay.
Yeah, that's why I was asking. Okay,
I
thank you.
think they had to do it based upon the number of days with the
Number of
regulations.
days prior, correct, yeah.
Yeah,
And that's why we did it. And typically we cancel that meeting. So, but this is just a different situation. Okay. And then I've gotten 2 emails on laptops while we're sitting here, Martin, so I don't know what you did.
I did nothing. It just must have been osmosis.
So, all right. All right. Any other new business?
Yep. When do the minutes have to be in by?
48 hours.
Well, 48 hours for record of vote if you can't get the minutes done. Otherwise, that's the goal. But if you can't get the minutes done in 48 hours, you have to
Yeah.
just show the votes and then you have 7 days to get them in.
They do
Well, I
not
don't
need to
know how
be
you
as
show the vote.
detail oriented.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
they-
so, and then Lana, I'll call you when I have them done to say, how do we do this? How do we submit
You
them?
just have to send them to me in an email. and
Okay,
then I
you
will
can submit
upload
them.
Yeah.
Okay. For now, until we get that trained.
So we
Okay.
get Deb.
Okay.
Yeah, Deb said the last ones were posted to the wrong meeting. They are posted to the canceled one, just so you know, so she fixed
I
it.
did?
Yeah, that's what she said.
Really?
Minutes from the 4/7 meeting. Yeah,
Oh, boy, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's all
And
right.
unfortunately, yeah, when you post on that site, you can't go back and edit either. So that's the problem.
I know,
Oh,
but yeah, I mean, I don't remember doing that, but obviously I did.
yeah, because I sent Deb, she's like, were the minutes posted? And I said, yeah, here's Lana's email. And
Yeah.
they were posted to a canceled meeting link, so she switched them.
Oh,
Deb's
no.
amazing.
Oh, I do see there's 2 dates now. I see. Okay. So do you want me to put them on the real one?
No, don't do anything now. Deb already took care of that meeting.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
Yes.
Just because we had to
Oh,
have it
boy.
on record correctly, so.
Okay.
But Beth, they do not need to be as detailed. A
Mhm.
lot of minutes are very
Yep.
simple. You've seen them.
yep. So I am sending us, do you want me to send them out to everyone first before Lana
Yes,
posts the draft?
to make sure to see if there's any edits or review. I actually like to see them prior to,
Okay.
because otherwise when they go up and draft, if there's like a bigger mistake, it's all the questions will usually come to me. So I'd rather at least get a chance to review them prior to. All right, guys. I'm sorry for the lengthy meeting, but we
Okay.
obviously had a lot to discuss.
Yep. All right.
All right, we
So,
all have different
I'll
marching
make a
orders.
motion to adjourn.
Thank you,
Second.
Lana. Martin Vyeth. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Yay, so moved. Thank you, everyone. Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
all.
Be in touch
bye.
shortly.
And so you're going to be in touch with me about QuickBooks and stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Bye,
thank
all.
you, guys.
Ciao.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.